This episode is brought to you by Blue Door Financial. Blue Door Financial will help you save money and reduce taxes to live a fuller financial life. To learn more, visit Blue Door Financial online at BLUdoorfinancial.com. That's BLUdoorfinancial.com. Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr., and I'm your host for the On the Stacks podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Jeff King, owner and president of the Pest Rangers. What's up, podcast? Episode 90 of the On the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door studio. Welcome to the show, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you brought some big rat traps and some big scary bugs with you.
Couple items.
Yeah.
Couple fun things.
Yeah. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the bug business. But should I be referring to you as Ranger Jeff?
You could call me Ranger Jeff. We do that. Yeah. We have Ranger Ted, Ranger Rich, Termite Teddy.
Okay. So am I, because I have this nice polo you got me. Thank you for that, by the way.
Ranger Bill.
Yeah.
Wait. We have a Bill. So Ranger. Yeah. Bill 2.
Okay.
Or something.
Bill Jr. I am
Bill Jr. Yeah, there you go.
Ranger Bill Jr. So I am
it.
officially a Ranger, a pest ranger.
Go Ranger.
There we go. All right. So before Ranger Jeff, tell me a little bit about you.
So I started, I was a photographer. I did that for a while. It was fun. It was fun until I looked around and I saw that there was an industry disruptor that was lurking around, and that was digital cameras. So digital came in and kind of bumped me out of that role. But I did work for a company out of California. I was a freelance photographer and then got into editing for them, Paisano Publications. That was a Easy Riders, Tattoo Magazine, Tailgate High Beams. They were like the automotive side. So I did the car, which was high beams, and truck, which was tailgate, and it was fun. I took photography in high school, and my teacher was Mr. Rachowskis at Myers High School. And the first 3 quarters I failed because he wanted me taking pictures of flowers and waterfalls, and I was taking pictures of cars and girls in bikinis.
So that wasn't allowed, huh?
No, it was kind of frowned upon. You'd go into the dark room and like, here's a pretty flower and here's a cool truck.
So, but were they good photos though, at least?
They were, yeah. So a year later after I graduated, I ended up passing somehow, but after I graduated, I remember going back to high school and I gave him all the magazines that I was published in. So it was kind of like
nice.
An accomplishment.
Yeah. What did he say then?
He was in awe. He couldn't believe it. So at that time, I was working for Tailgate, High Beams, Performance Auto and Sound, which was a magazine out of Canada. And then I was doing some freelance work for J.R. Thompson, which was a marketing company that did work for Campbell's Soup and for Coca-Cola, and then Daimler Chrysler. And that was great work. I did when Daimler Chrysler and Dodge changed their logo from like the old Dodge logo to this futuristic Mopar. There was the biggest auto show in the world or country, I guess, would be SEMA, the SEMA Auto Show. And the magazine that was put out with the whole name change and redesign was the magazine. I took the cover photo and about 16 pages inside.
Wow.
And that was all done here in Wilkes-barre.
Really?
Yeah, on top of a parking lot north on North Main Street. I did a lot of the photos there. We went over to the Gateway Shopping Center and took pictures of some Dodge Neons. If you remember the Neons.
Yeah,
they
of
had
course.
an SRT4 Neon. It was like the turbo Neon or whatever it was. But it was... that was a big accomplishment for me because everybody saw it. Everybody going to that auto show got a copy of it.
Where was the show?
The show was in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yep.
So so what got you into photography?
So I was always into cars. I had a custom truck growing up. It kept me out of a lot of trouble. I look around, I'm like, I didn't get into trouble because I was putting all my money into trucks. And I was hanging around with a good group, and we had a bowling tournament, which we still do at Chaco's. It's about 22 years strong. And this bowling tournament would bring people in from across the country. So car shows go on all summer long, spring, summer, fall. And in the winter, there's nothing to do. Nobody's going to take their vehicles out. So I decided we're going to have a bowling event. And we started at Stanton Lanes. And we did it at Stanton Lanes for 2 years. And then we've been at Chaco's ever since. And I picked up an editor of this magazine, Tailgate Magazine. I picked him up, flew him in from California to take pictures of our event. And along the ride, I said, yeah, I'm taking photography in high school. I would love an opportunity to take pictures for it. And he said, sure. So he gave me a list of shows to go to. And I was in Tennessee. I was all over. I pretty much covered from Tennessee up into Connecticut, out into Ohio. So I took care of like kind of the Northeast, a little bit of the South, and then we had guys in the Midwest and West.
How old were you?
At that time, I was 17, 18 years old.
Wow.
And I did it all the way until, I'm going to say 2007.
So, and like you were, like they were paying you, right?
Oh, yeah. I was getting paid to go. The trick is we had to shoot with a model. So if we did a feature photography, on a truck or a car, they were the type you needed to get somebody in a bikini, and if I paid them, it came out of my check. So I didn't want to pay them. So they got national exposure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was this, the money you were making from this? Did that fuel your truck hobby?
It did. Yeah. So I got to take my truck with me all over the place. And like I said, I looked around and I saw digital coming in, and realized that like anybody could be a photographer now. And then the Photoshop days came in, Adobe Photoshop. People could take a picture. It could look like crap. They could superimpose it. I mean, you could make anybody look like Britney Spears.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they were doing stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I'm not an artist. I'm a photographer. So it was time to get out.
Yeah. How old were you at that point?
That's a good question. I was probably maybe 21. And I picked up a job with the city of Wilkes-Barre. I actually worked right across the street. I started there in 2004. I was a garbage man.
Oh, so you were right across the street from here.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. The DPW building is right here.
Yep, from garbage man to bug man.
Yeah, you were a garbage man.
Garbage man. I hated it.
What'd you do? Did you ride the back of the truck?
I did for like 2 years. It was horrible.
Why?
It's not fun.
No?
No, you're in the wet. I don't know how people that work for the post office walking through rain, sleet, snow. It takes a special breed.
So you just didn't like the weather?
I hated the weather. I hated the culture. I had a bad culture. It's something that taught me a life lesson. Everything that I did taught me a life lesson. And bad culture, you don't hear of it until in private business. They talk about culture a lot. And I really thank them for the opportunity I had, because it taught me some things not to do.
Like what?
Create a bad culture. I mean, it was stressful. There was a lot of stress to the job.
And smelly.
That too.
Yeah.
You kind of get used to it. Like I could go behind a Chinese restaurant and it doesn't affect me. Most people would throw up.
Yeah. So you just became immune to the
smell.
Oh, yeah. Man. I didn't think that was ever possible.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you live down near the sanitary authority,
Yeah.
You and I go down there now, we're going to smell it. But the people that live there,
they're used to it.
They're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So you did a couple year stint on the garbage truck.
A couple years on the garbage truck, about 2 years. I got my CDL license and started driving the garbage truck. That was a little better.
Was that a promotion?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, do you like when you work on the garbage truck? Do you start as the guy in the back?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're one of the two people.
Yep.
Hanging off, almost like dangling for your life. Right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. Yeah. It's it could be scary at times. It's not for everybody. But I did. I ended up driving, which was better. My first truck had no air conditioning, sucked. And then they started buying new trucks.
At least you were out of the elements.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could roll up the windows and get out. But then the windows fogged up because it had no air conditioning. So,
Lose.
It was. But the more seniority you got, you moved up the ladder. So you got better jobs. But I remember one day getting called in Madison Street, one of the longest streets in the city, picking up garbage. Guys hate it. That's such a heavy street. And I had a guy on the back of my truck, and he was a big guy. But they always came after me for, hey, you're not getting your route done, or, it's taking you too long. And the people that would call me in are college-educated people. I didn't go to college. But I think Street Smart would tell you, like, yeah, you got a guy that's like 300 pounds on the back of your truck. It's going to take me a little longer. So, like, why are you asking me? Like, can't you see?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's very obvious.
Very obvious. So that's like when I say bad culture, like the obvious stuff, like really?
Yeah. So you had like a garbage quota.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah. Had
Yeah.
to pick up, had to have the street done in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your route done.
Yeah. And you weren't cutting it.
No. So I had opportunity to bid. There's a few jobs that are bid jobs within the city, and I had the opportunity to bid into the Parks Department. And in the Parks Department, I bid into the Hollenbach Golf Course. So I took a short course in pesticides. The gentleman retired, and they retained him to train me. And he was smart. I love the guy to death. Jim Wojciech taught me a lot. Great guy to work with. They ended up keeping him on. I left, and he was still there. So I worked at the golf course 2000. I think it was 2008 through 14. And he stayed on with me, and we had a great relationship. He taught me a lot. I learned about pesticides. And that's when, and I was going to Penn State for the short course. I thought, boy, I'm learning about pesticides, and they're talking about bugs. And this is something I could do because I have family members that kill bugs too. So it kind of runs in the family. And I ended up starting the Pest Rangers in 2008. And it was just something to do on the side. It was just side work. Because
While you were still at the course.
Well, I was still at the course, yeah. And I always worked since I was a young child. I was an entrepreneur. I used to go to Turkey Hill on Blackman Street and buy 3 candy bars for $1, go door to door and sell them for $1. I had an ice cream stand when I was 12 years old on the corner of Blackman and Conwell Street, and the Wilkes-Barre Health Department shut me down. I was 12 years old. Yeah. They ruined my dreams, crushed me.
Oh my God.
I was buying Turkey Hill ice cream, and then I had this stand, and people would pull over and buy, but I didn't have all the health stuff. I didn't have a running sink and all that, but I tried.
Yeah.
Made a couple bucks.
Good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I always had that in me, and my dad always told me, you need to be your own boss. You can't work for somebody. Authority was probably something that I had struggled with, even in high school.
Talk about your photos again. You were, disobeying the class rules.
I was, yeah. And I just had my own mind. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how to get there, but don't get in my way.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Yeah, I like that.
So, my dad always said, you can't work for somebody. And if you do, it's like a special type of person. And I always analyze things. Like I looked at things. When I worked for the city, I'd look at things, and in the back of my mind, I knew some things weren't right, and I'm like, I can't fix this. You can't fix it, so I got to get out of here. I did work for a short time for LAG Towing. I don't know if you remember LAG Towing, Leo Glodzik. So interesting job towing cars, doing city impounds. That was actually a lot of fun.
Was it?
I had a ton of fun.
Yeah? Why?
Because you're going after bad people. Like I come in behind the police, and I'm towing cars for these bad people.
Oh, okay.
And when I say bad people, there's some bad dudes out there.
Yeah.
And then we get their car, and it's like, all right. So we impound them, and so it was fun. A couple repos.
I was gonna say, yeah. What did you do? Repo cars?
Yeah, we did that too. So, I was always busy working 2 jobs. I worked for the city of Wilkes-Barre, and then I did the towing, at night. But the bug stuff just came. I never thought I would do it, and when I saw the opportunity, I took it and just kept building. And being at the city of Wilkes-Barre, I was able to kind of do the bug thing and work. So my hours were 6 to 2, 7 to 3:30. So I had all that time after work to go and service homes, and then started getting into light commercial. I can only do so much light commercial because, most restaurants want you in before they open at 11. So I was working, so it was tough. So even on my lunch hour, I'd leave, go kill bugs, come back.
Yeah, you can't be setting rat traps at the local restaurants at dinner time, right?
Yeah. The only good thing is while I was working, I could answer the phone. So I was building this business, hired my first employee in 2014. And in 14, I realized that by adding that employee, we were starting to grow, and we were growing a lot. So I wrote a book. The book was The 4-Hour Work Week. One of the best books I ever read, because it really put life into perspective. It made you look at your career and say, this is what I'm doing today. And if I left and took a risk, and I left today, what would it take me to make as much money as I am today somewhere else? And I thought, you know what? I'm not making that much money here. and I'm a lot smarter than this, and I could do it. And I went downstairs. I said to my wife, I said, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. And she says, you're what? And I said, I'm quitting. And she said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. And I remember going into work the next day, and I looked at one of my supervisors, and I said, I'm done. I quit. He said, you can't quit. You've been here 11 years. You're ready to get a pension. I said, whatever. Doesn't matter. And I left. That was it.
Wow.
Best thing I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
So they say, like, there's no reward without risk, and you can't be afraid to take a risk.
So I want to kind of go back. So you said about your dad always, kind of pushing you to, like you said, be your own boss. Like, what did your dad do?
My dad was a school teacher.
Okay.
So growing up, myself, my brother, we were always told, like, you have to go to college. Become a teacher, become a professional. And, I think the public school system could be broke. My wife's a school teacher at wilkes-barre Votech, and I think there's a lot of opportunity that kids could go to school to Votech and come out and make a lot more money than people with a college degree. They say that plumbers, the average age of a plumber is 62 years old. It's one of the highest paid professions in the United States. They name their price. So I think it's wrong that we push everybody to go to college, and I don't think you need to go to college to be successful. But I think this whole area has like that, if you don't go to college, what could you do? You're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher. That's a lot of the career paths that people go. But you could do good. To be a union carpenter, sheet metal worker, they're needed. Electricians are needed. So people need to think outside that box.
Yeah. Do you want to expand on that some more? Because I think it's an interesting topic of, I went to college personally. However, I'm also of the mindset that you don't have to go to college to be successful. So is there anything more on that you wanted to?
My brother didn't go to college, and he's a salesman, and he does very well. My wife went to college, and she's got college debt. It's something I don't have. It's something my brother doesn't have. And I have employees that work for me that have college debt, and it's a struggle. You get out of college and you're faced with these college bills. I'm thankful I didn't have that. So I don't know. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
And I just think if by going into a trade, and pest control being in a trade, it is a trade. There's opportunity.
Yeah. So all right. So you hired your first employee. You quit the city.
Quit the city.
Hired your first employee. Then what happened?
So I had my first acquisition. I was able to acquire a company out of Hazleton, and I got the route, trucks, and the building. And that allowed us to expand. I never thought of going to Hazleton. I thought wilkes-barre was it. I'm going to do wilkes-barre, Dallas, Mountaintop. These are Hanover and Nanticoke, those areas. Hazleton was far to me. It really was, because I'm a city boy. I grew up in the city, so like when I say down the street, like I could walk to Shields from South Wilkes-Barre. You could get around. So to go up the highway, I was like, this is a ride. But we expanded into Hazleton, and our model is different than a lot of your bigger pest control companies. Your Orkins, Terminixes, they're a lot of quarterly service, exterior only. That's something that I don't want to do. I wanted to offer a personable service where we come into the house, we service 3 times a year, inside and outside. It allows us to develop a relationship with the client, and we get to know everybody. Doing this since 2008. Last year I had a young girl knock on my door, and she saw that I was wearing a Pest Ranger shirt, and I'd just gotten out of work, handing out candy, and I looked at it. She says, "You work for the Pest Rangers?" I said, I do. She said, "Oh, they do my house." I said, "Oh yeah, where at?" And she tells me, and I said, "Wow, you were like 8 years old playing a piano. Your mom loved that you played the piano, and you're in college now." So, and knowing their names, knowing their dogs' names, it becomes personable. So the referrals were there, and we're just not a company that's going to come hang a door hanger and leave. Like, we want to know you. I always say it's easy to fire a company. It's very hard to fire the technician that you develop that relationship with. So that's how we developed our business. And I really take that why the success is there.
Yeah. So one thing you said was that you made that acquisition like right when you first, went off and running like full time with this.
Yep.
How were you able to do that?
So I went to PNC Bank, and in pest control, everything's intangible. There's no tangible assets, so it's hard to sell a bank on, hey, I'm going to buy this customer list and they're going to definitely stick with me. But we were able to convince PNC. Our finances were actually pretty strong. And again, I didn't go to school for business. This is all on the, I don't know how I did it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, how you figured all that out.
Yeah. So I went to the bank and just really convinced them, and they were able to give me a loan on the real estate and then separate on the actual customer list, which also included some of the trucks. So there was some tangible items that we were able to like stack into that loan. And I hate debt. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't want to pay interest payments. So my goal is always to pay everything off like very fast. And that was my goal with Hazelton, is get this paid off as fast as I can so I could do another one. And a year later, I had the opportunity. I had another gentleman come to me. He wanted to retire. His son and daughter had moved to North Carolina, and he thought it was going to be easy to just drive back and forth every once in a while. After a few times, he said, I'm not doing this anymore. I could retire. So we met at Cracker Barrel, and we sat down, and pretty much on a napkin, I did this deal.
No way.
Yeah.
At Cracker Barrel.
At Cracker Barrel. I said to him, there's two ways we could do this. I said, I could pay you cash and be done, but it's going to be this much money. Or we could do an earn out and take it over, and I could give you more. And he chose cash. So that was quick and easy.
On the napkin.
Yeah, on the napkin. Yeah.
And then how quick did the deal go through after?
Oh, like 3 weeks. We were done. Yeah.
Closed.
We didn't even use an attorney for that. So that was like one of those like, man, I'm not going to use that attorney. We're just going to take it over. Because we had one acquisition that we paid an attorney to really go through. So I had the foundation. And I said, listen, we're just going to due diligence.
Yeah, you already done it before.
Yeah, due diligence on the napkin. Shake your hand. I'll come up your house and be done. Go to North Carolina. Enjoy yourself.
Have a couple bites of eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
A couple biscuits.
Yeah, that's it.
So okay.
So then you talked about like the finances and the business aspect, and like you said, without having being educated on any of that stuff, how did you learn to do it all?
Very disciplined. So, and I think that's one of the hardest things. Now, maybe they teach us in college. I don't know. But I didn't know like distributions and how to pay myself. So, I would look at a percentage of gross, whatever I brought in. I'm going to take this much, stack this in the bank. And I just kept pushing those, I guess you want to call them profits, and just plowing them right back into the business, building a bank account. And still to this day, I look at things and I'm very reserved because I may not know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So you made a couple acquisitions, and you're growing the business, and
yeah,
and then what?
We had another acquisition in 2019. That was our biggest one. But I developed a ton of relationships. I'm huge in the industry. I'm very involved with the pest control industry. I served as a board member for the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association. I got in on the board in 2009 and have really worked my way up through the association and worked on a lot of projects to get our state back in order. We had 4 regions, and I'm one for consolidation. I like to consolidate things and conquer. So we consolidated the state into three regions instead of 4. Brought all the money together, and now we act as one state association. Worked my way up through the state association. I'm now the president-elect and the education chair. So we do a lot of regional, networking events, training sessions. That's one thing in pest control. You have to have CEU credits. So it's constant training, technology changes, material changes, and the state is involved. So they look at, the Department of Agriculture is who governs us. So we need to keep up with the regulations.
So why'd you get so involved with these organizations?
I feel that every time I got involved in my industry, my business grew because I got to meet people that shared their failures and their success stories. I network and I'm with people that have $100 million businesses. I could call them on the phone and they'll tell me what not to do and what to do and the mistakes they made. And I really attribute that to my growth. I could work with bigger companies. We do a lot of work with bigger companies in the area here, and they may move or open a plant in Florida, and they call, and I could get them hooked up with, a like-minded individual that's going to treat them the same way we did. So that networking has been huge for us.
Yeah, and didn't you just get back like literally today?
I did, yeah. So I spent
Where have you been?
Week in Nevada. I was in Vegas, my first time. I'm not a Vegas person.
Yeah, I'm not either.
When you go to Vegas, you pay for every piece of real estate you touch. So if you want to sit on a stool, you're either drinking, eating, or gambling.
Yeah.
So not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I said I'm very reserved.
Yeah.
But I went from Vegas. I got home over the weekend and ended up in Lancaster for our state conference, our state pest control conference, which I run. I'm actually the education chair too for the state. So we had about 130 attendees there. So it was 2 days, 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, training and training.
Yeah. So what do? You like train like other professionals in the industry doing the same thing that you do?
Yep. We network. We go over, customer service items, business items, new technology, things that change. We deal with pesticides. It's a harsh word, but you need to know how to apply them and apply them safe. So there's always updates. The manufacturers will come out, Department of Agriculture will come out, and they'll talk about different changes with EPA and regulations. So and it's very important that like our staff, we make sure they go so they're on the forefront of all that changing technology and how to do things the right way.
Yeah. What about like the marketing end of the business?
That I'm huge. I do a lot of marketing. I didn't go to college. I said that before, but for some reason I ended up.
That's the theme here.
Yeah, I love marketing.
Why?
It's fascinating because you could change your message and change your audience so fast, and then when you're advertising or you need to really think at who you're trying to target. And as things are changing with social media and even YouTube, like I could tell you during the pandemic, we did short videos, the YouTube bumper videos, and we targeted hair care products and tanning products because I knew all the women were going to be, hey, I can't go to the hairdresser, but my hair's a mess, and I want to tan because the summer's coming up. So they were seeing our videos as they were searching locally.
Wow.
So it's things like that you think through and how to target that audience. But I've spoke around the country on marketing, video marketing. I did a session at Georgia Tech University. I'm going out to Florida in 2 weeks to talk on marketing and sales. I've been to Denver to speak on bedbugs and bedbug litigation. I've been all over speaking on business and speaking on bugs.
Wow. So can you give me any more marketing secrets of yours?
Targeting. I look at things. That's the most important thing. You could spend a lot of money, even TV advertising. Advertise on a local market, and they're not going to tell you that they go out to Williamsport. So if you're paying for that coverage, you're paying for people to see you in Williamsport. If you don't service Williamsport, you shouldn't be advertising there. And billboards, we do a ton of billboards.
I know, I see them. You got some creative messages on them.
Love our billboards.
Yeah.
So again, marketing, I don't put a phone number on there. I do not put our website on there because Google is the best.
It'll do its job.
It'll do its job. Yeah. I'm a big Yankees fan, and I remember walking into Yankee Stadium a few years ago, and I'm looking around, and you're looking at the billboards that are in Yankee Stadium, and they don't make any sense whatsoever. And they won. Because what does everybody do? They Google it. Why would somebody put 3 letters on a billboard? They won. You searched it. You figured out why.
Yeah.
What's the big billboard in Philadelphia? F. Steven Singer or F.
Yeah.
Right?
The jewelry place.
Yeah. What does everybody do? They Google like, what is that? Who would do that?
Yeah. Like, oh, that's like offensive. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do they do?
He got his message.
Yeah.
I live in Mountaintop, so I'm up and down 309. My office is in Hanover. My main office is in Hanover Township. So up and down 309 every day, and it's littered with trash. So we did a billboard that says, "Don't be a litter bug." Hashtag, keep 309 clean.
I remember seeing that one.
It's just simple messages. Our messages aren't "call me." We do pest control. We don't care.
Yeah, that's obvious.
It is. Yeah, we just put a message out there.
Yeah,
be kind with a little "b" on it. It's simple.
Yeah.
Just remember us when you have a problem. Call us.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, speaking, going back to like you said about the your personal building the relationships with the clients and things like that. Like, how else have you done that over the years?
It's all been through referral, a ton of referrals. And through the acquisitions, we learned the first company we purchased was EnviroSmart Pest Solutions in Hazleton. And that company did 3 exterior services, spring, summer, fall, and a winter service where they went inside the house. And we realized that we weren't building that business fast because the relationship wasn't there. They didn't know our technicians. It's just like the lawn guy. The lawn guy comes, he spreads fertilizer, and he leaves. It's so easy to fire the lawn guy. But when you're in that house and you develop that relationship, it's hard to do.
It's hard to fire the pest ranger.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to fire your technician. That's the thing, because they develop that relationship. So that's when we discovered that, this is the model we're going to stick to. And, there's easier ways. We could do interior or just exteriors, and we could make a lot more money doing that.
Yeah.
But it's not the way we want to do business.
Yeah. And I am myself a testimonial for you. And I think you may know what I'm going to say, but I guess maybe I'm a little biased. However, I am a client of yours. And one time we had a little ant problem, and our technician normally isn't you, but you showed up. Like we had a problem. We had to have somebody come back, and you came and said, like, I'm going to come myself.
Yep.
And for someone, I just think that that's a compliment to you, as the business owner. And you and I we just knew of each other, kind of, but for you to actually go one step further and say, I'm going to come. I just thought that was very important.
Yep. So I go to work every day. I don't wear a suit or a tie. I don't wear a button-down shirt. I wear the same uniform that my technicians wear. So if I'm needed to go out on the road, I jump and I go. I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm in the field. Yeah, I stay dirty, here and there, but not as much as I used to. More, last few years, more in the office. But if I have to go, I go. And it's fun. I love the technician role of it, and coming to your house, you had Carpenter ants.
Yeah.
It's satisfying when I could find that Carpenter ant nest and they're bleeding out of the wall and coming out of everywhere. So like, it's instant results. I always say it's like jackpot. You go and, you know.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. It was, I was there. I was like spectating.
Yes.
Yeah. And he solved the problem.
Carpenter ants and Carpenter bees are probably my 2 favorite. Carpenter bees, you could, because instant results, you leave and it's like, wow, look what he just did. Some of the other stuff is like invincible. Like, it takes a little time, and that's something in pest control. Everybody has a raid mentality,
spray it, it's gone.
Spray it, it's gone. Yeah, bang, shooting it with a gun. But the products we use take time, and that's the reason why it takes a professional to do it. Because of the residual. The stuff that you buy over the counter, there's no residual to it. And it's designed like that, so you don't hurt somebody.
So it's not harmful.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our material needs to be applied correctly, and it does take time.
Yeah. So let's talk about the actual pests themselves, and give me some crazy horror stories.
I would say my least favorite are roaches. I'm not a big roach fan.
Yeah.
And I think what's even worse is putting roaches and fleas together, because now you got roaches everywhere and you're getting bit by fleas. So when we get people that call and say, yeah, we have roaches and fleas, 1, why did you wait to call us? And 2, like, we need to get rid of the fleas before the roaches, because I don't want to be treating for roaches getting bit by fleas. So it's a long process when it comes to that. Bed bugs, they're around.
And they are a real thing. We were talking about this before with Darren, right? They're a real thing.
Yeah. So Pest Ranger started in 2008, and that was really the big uptick in bed bugs. And I remember my first bed bug call, and I thought that was just like one of my parents put me down to bed.
Yeah, right.
And these are real. What do I do? So, did a little research and went in and took care of the bed bugs. And ever since 2008, it's been on an uptick. We've treated a lot of bed bugs.
So why though? Like you said, is it like you said something like they came back? Like
they came back. Yeah. So back in the 50s and 60s, they had DDT, and DDT knocked them out. And so the EPA got involved. And what happens is whenever something works really good, they take it off the market. They outlaw it.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't want to kill off the ecosystem. You need termites to eat homes, right?
Yeah.
Unless I wouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
So they once a product works too good, it ends up getting
so that's what happened.
That's what happens. Yeah, it's just a cycle.
So they came back. And you're killing them.
Yeah, now we're killing them.
Yeah.
College dorm rooms, hotels, restaurants, bars. They're really everywhere. And it's not a dirty thing or a clean thing. They're hitchhikers. So I could tell you now, I've treated people's homes, and then you go to the restaurant, and it's like, hey, I was just at your house, and you had bed bugs bad, and you might have just left them in the booth.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we do... Bed bugs have been big for us. We did a lot in public housing, private housing, single family homes, but salespeople that travel, it's
a problem.
That's the target.
Yeah. What else? What other kind of pests do you deal with?
Rats, mice, bees. Bees have been really bad. Ants are bad, but nothing too crazy. I'd say bed bugs, cockroaches. Those are the fun ones.
Yeah. Not like a big rat running around?
We've had rats. We had a warehouse. This warehouse was in Luzerne County. I won't give the...
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
like HIPAA.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can't disclose the clients.
HIPAA of pest control.
Yeah, understood. Fair enough.
Warehouse was bringing in pallets. These pallets were coming from a Walmart location in New York, and we threw everything at this place. We had cameras through the place watching these rats go back and forth. They were everywhere, but there was no food in the place, none at all. It was just all wood. But what was happening is Walmart would put these pallets out, and the rats would come and get in the pallets, and these pallets were coming to get repaired or, taken out of commission. And they're offloading these pallets into this warehouse, and the rats are running out all over the place. And we had every device you could think of in this place, rat snap traps. We tried baits. We had industry professionals come in. We hired consultants to come in, and we finally working our way up the ladder to the leading expert that works in New York City. Right before him, this gentleman came in and he says, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get these truck numbers and figure out where they're coming from. And we nailed it to a Walmart in the Bronx.
Wow.
And they were just offloading them in, but we had there's so many rats.
And they're really smart, huh?
They're very smart. Yeah. So if you put a trap, even a mouse, you put a trap down, they're trap shy. So when we get calls from people and they're like, I have a mouse, I'm freaked out, it's in my house. We don't have a mouse whistle, or a rat whistle. No, I can't just make them. And that's, I think people are like, yeah, just
call them out.
Yeah. Make them jump in your pocket. It's like, I can't do that. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But, it takes time. So whether you're using traps or whatever, putting something in their path, they're smart and they know. So they'll turn around, and it may take 2 or 3 days for them to get used to that, jump on it, jump over it, take that piece of cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. What back to the business aspect, what have been some of your challenges?
Biggest challenges that we have is building the team that we have. We have an awesome team. We really do. I can't say enough about them. Our culture is great.
I'll talk about that culture too.
Yeah, I never knew what culture meant until I got into private business. I could tell you right now, in government, there's that saying that there's always tomorrow. Just wait, we'll do it tomorrow. But in business, you don't know if there is tomorrow, and it's true. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to wake up to. When the pandemic hit, that was one of the scariest times for me because it was what's going to happen. I was in Washington, D.C. The week before we were shut down. The week before that, I was in Louisiana, and I came from Louisiana to D.C. I had breakfast with Senator Ron Johnson, who ended up having a COVID scare, and I'm coming home, and I'm like, oh, what do I do? I was with this guy, and there was no tests then, so what happened was, I remember getting home and I thought, I wonder if we're gonna be in like, what's gonna happen on Monday, or and they shut us down. They shut everybody down, but pest control through our state association, we were ruled essential within 24 hours. And the reason for that essential status was because we protect the food supply. We do a lot, actually, and a lot of people don't realize pest control goes beyond coming into your home or going into a restaurant, but from farm to fork. So from the farms in Lancaster that are, doing bean crops, or whatever, that's all protected, so you have grain and there's rats around the grain silos, like that's forbidden. There's a law called FSMA, which is the Food Safety Modernization Act. It was to protect our food system, and pest control is a pivotal part of that. Poultry, all the, farm to fork.
Yeah, wow, it's things that you don't really think about.
Yeah, anything that touches food. So even a label that goes on a food container, that's actually a food grade warehouse. So any of the plastics that touch food, all those facilities need pest control, and it's a very it's looked at. It's audited. So there's third parties that come in and they audit these accounts, and they want to make sure the paperwork's in order, and there's barcodes, and it goes way beyond.
So you got a lot of servicing to do.
A lot. Yeah, it's very, technology is one thing. We embrace technology in our company, our software systems, down to barcode technology and trend reports, and you wouldn't think it's all involved in pest control.
Yeah, what else is involved?
That's a lot of it is IPM, they call it, integrated pest management. So it's controlling pests without pesticides. So they use some mechanical traps, and these food warehouses can't have any baits in them, so everything's like a snap trap or a multi-catch trap where it just live catches the mouse, and then all that is tracked through the USDA, FDA. So it gets pretty intense.
Yeah, pretty in depth.
Yeah, very. Yeah, people don't realize it.
Yeah. What about any crazy stories, like any like wild like small animals in people's houses, like?
Yeah, so we get those calls too. Thanksgiving, probably 3 years ago, we had a lady call, and she said, "I have a possum on my table, on my dinner table," and I'm like, "Okay, how did that happen?" And she said it fell through my ceiling, and I said, "It's like literally on your dinner table," and she said, "Yes," and I'm like, "Are you in the house?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm in the other room." I'm like, "How are you in the house?" Like it's on your table. She says, "Yes, it's on my table." I'm like, it won't move? And she said, "No, I think it's scared." But it got in the house and got into her drop ceiling and ended up falling right onto the dining room table.
He was playing possum.
He was just chilling.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
On the table.
On the table. So we ended up sending 2 technicians out Thanksgiving Day.
Was there food on the table?
I wasn't there. I didn't ask that question.
Hope it didn't ruin dinner.
Yeah. But we've seen some weird... we've had squirrels in homes, and, on a Sunday, squirrel in a house, like, how do you even tell this customer it's Sunday? I got to call somebody out. It's an emergency service. But sometimes you can walk into a house and just pick the squirrel up with your hands, it's scared, and walk out. And it's as simple as that. Other times you could be there 8 hours and it causes a lot of damage. You don't know what you're going to walk into.
Yeah. So what was the outcome with the possum?
We scooped it up and took it outside, and
like just he willingly just said, "Take me
off." Yep,
back
gone
back outside.
Yep.
All right, so it was an easy rescue.
Yeah,
that's crazy though.
Some other crazy ones is when you go to somebody's house and and it's sad. I'll say it's sad. They answer the door and there's flea collars around. The kids have flea collars.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's not. It's for dogs, but we see this stuff and it's not.
Wow.
So we do get into some situations where it's like, all right, how do we report this, or what do we do?
Yeah.
Some people live. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it all.
We have. Yeah, and some of it's mental health. So it's just getting people the help they need.
Yeah.
And I've sat in a lot of meetings with Bureau of Aging and stuff like that, and trying to get people help. A lot of people, it could be a medication. They think that there's bed bugs are always scratching, and you get in those. They call it delusional parasitosis. So we know when we get those calls, we get pictures of boogers, we get pictures of lint, we get pictures of toenails, and the women in our office like, oh my God.
They see it all, eh?
Oh yeah, it's bad. And you just have to get people the proper help.
Yeah.
So we're not only pest control, we do some mental health stuff.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know it was that pest control went this far.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So is speaking of your all your locations, like how far out do you service?
So right now, we have an office, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton, in the Poconos. We just opened an office in the Poconos about a half mile down from Kalahari. And so that's like our residential footprint. But we go all the way out to Quakertown doing commercials. So big food grade, food is awesome. You wouldn't believe how big that business is. Everything that touches food is manufactured either in the Lehigh Valley or locally. And then, if they have a product, they have other products that mix in with their products that are food grade. So that portfolio just builds.
Yeah. Anything new coming up for you guys?
We just expanded our office, local office in Hanover. That's our main office. We have like an operations side now, and then we have the service side. So kind of split that up, but we're all on the same campus. I'll call it. It's like a little campus.
Little campus?
Yeah, a little campus.
Yeah.
We got a little garage, and we have the service side, and then an operations. But
some ping pong tables there.
Yeah. We actually just put in cubicles, and so we're getting things up and running. But exciting. Great location. Hanover's great for us because we're close to 29. It gets us to Berwick. It gets us up to Hazleton. So we kind of could get anywhere fast, and there's no traffic lights.
Yeah.
So downtime and drive time's not good in our business. It's a route business.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you?
Oh, I could say that our website, we have a great team, local. We use a lot of local people. I'd rather use local folks to help us out and help us grow. But we have a great team, local people that help us on our Google AdWords and things like that. A lot of local marketing, that I work closely with. Our website gets a ton of traffic. We are like the Google authority. So when you go to Google something, if you did poisonous spiders in PA, it's going to say,
do you come up?
Yeah, it's going to say, according to the Pest Rangers. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in California.
Okay.
And that's going to come up. Ladybugs. Last week, ladybugs were really bad. And I logged on the website. I'm like, wow, there's like 82 people on right now looking at our website, and you could drill down, like, where are they from? So you could actually see like Glenn Lyons getting hammered with ladybugs because everybody's on here.
So you
looking.
can see that they're searching that and then landing on your site.
You could, yep. And then I just got an email that our bandwidth, like they allow 200, whatever it is, whatever that term is, 200 a month, and we're at like 700. So like, oh boy, our bill's going to be. So we're paying for the traffic.
Okay.
But the SEO, like we're just getting recognized by Google, which is great. So a lot of search topics.
Is it like what type of content are you putting out there?
Blogs, a ton of blogs. It's amazing how many people read bug blogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's really weird. Like,
I guess just looking for information. Though,
they
right?
are. Yeah. I mean,
right?
we give a lot of information on there, but then some of them are just, people just browse.
Just want to learn about bugs.
Yeah.
What else? You got any other interesting bug facts?
Bug facts.
Rat facts. Bug bed facts.
Bed bugs. Bug facts. I'm trying to think. Oh, the newest bug coming to our area is going to be the spotted lanternfly. That will be interesting when it happens. It's happening now in the Lehigh Valley, Lancaster area. A lot. And they're pretty, but...
Are they destructive?
Yes, to trees. But they're new. I just spent some time with a researcher from Penn State this week, and I said, this is kind of probably an easy question for you, but I've never heard anybody ask, but like this was another gift from China, kind of like coronavirus.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, and I said, okay, so like the United States is like really looking at this bug. Has anybody went to China to figure out what they did? And she's like, well, I was like, it seems easy to me. Like, all right, if they've been battling this bug forever, like just go over there. But I guess the USDA is working with China, I guess as good as relationship is, to try to figure this out. So there's a few insects that eat them. There's not a lot that we could do in pest control to stop it. But it's going to be a nuisance to homeowners because they don't do any destruction to a house. They're not a structural pest, but they're going to infest and be all over homes and cars and just really a nuisance.
Annoying.
Yeah. So not like the gypsy moths. I'm sure you remember in Mountaintop, the gypsy moths came around and they took all the leaves off the tree, and then they did a lot of destruction, a lot of the oaks, even going up 81. There's sections from Hanover Township up into New Angola. Those oaks are dead. So,
wow. What about those stupid cicadas? Didn't those just come through?
Yeah, they came through,
right?
and it's
are
weird.
They even real?
They are, and it was like,
or are they a myth?
It's funny you say that because it was like we saw them in Ascom, which is right near our office, so we could hear them sound like air raid sirens. But I live in Mountaintop, and I didn't hear them, and I didn't see them.
Yeah, neither do we. That's why I'm asking about this. Because I think I've seen some other people maybe post on Facebook about them that lived in different parts of Northeast PA. But I personally, I don't think I saw one or heard them.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it. Fake news.
Our service manager ate one.
Ate one.
He ate one. Yeah, he ate a cockroach before. He ate the cicada.
Was that like part of becoming a pest ranger? You have to try. You have to try the bugs first.
Hazing, yeah.
Yeah. It's the initiation.
Yep, that's day 90.
Okay. Yeah. See, after the 90-day term period, then you got to eat the cicada.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also, being in the field with bed bugs, we work a lot with canine bed bug detection dogs, which is pretty cool. You could train dogs to do a lot. I learned since being in the bug business that there's like cell phone dogs that go into prisons. There's, drug dogs and all that. Train them to do some weird stuff, but they have to keep bed bugs and constantly train with them. So you have to feed them. So the handlers come and I'm like, give me your vial. Let's let them bite me and see, because they don't transmit disease. That's why they're not a public health pest. They're more of a nuisance, and I'm sure you're going to scratch for a while, like psychological effects of bed bugs.
Yeah.
But
so you've been bitten?
Oh yeah.
Voluntarily?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just fed them just to see.
Oh man.
I've done a lot of tests with them as far as we had a big project with a local housing authority, and we put in dryers for the tenants so they could dry their clothes, because when you're doing a bed bug treatment, that's part of the preparations is drying the clothes, or laundering the clothes. And we tested all their new dryers to see how many minutes it would take. We wrapped bed bugs in a vial, in a bunch of towels, rubber banded them, threw them in the dryer, and timed it. These ones were 25 minutes. These ones were a half hour. So we knew, like, all right, your tenants need to take their stuff, put it in their dryer for this long, and we're good. So it was a big project.
Wow. Have you ever been bitten by anything else?
Nah, mosquitoes.
Oh, okay. But voluntarily bitten by bed bugs, I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah, it was.
I just feel like they'd be crawling on me.
You don't even feel it. So they have, their mouthpiece has like a Novocaine. So, and we get those calls all the time. I was bit by a bed bug.
But aren't they like super small? How small are they?
An adult's about the size of an apple seed, or like your pinky nail.
Oh, okay.
So you could see them.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like almost like microscopic small.
Some are. Yeah, when they're like just come out of the egg, that they're very small and clear. But as they feed on blood, they turn like a rusty brown color. So you could see them. So I always tell people, if you're going to stay somewhere, like peel, unless you're me, I don't check beds anymore because I could control it. But yeah. no, I do. I do check sometimes. Yeah. I used to check all the time.
Keep the pesticides with you.
I know
you're
a
safe.
guy.
Yeah. You'll be safe.
Yeah. But I did. Like I just came back from Lancaster and I did check the beds there. I was a little weird. I better check the beds here.
Yeah.
And I usually like Hilton. I'm a Hilton guy, but Hilton's good. They get bed bugs.
Yeah.
They all do.
Yeah. Scary. So what's the best tip? Like if you're going to a hotel?
Inspect. Yeah, peel the sheets off, and honestly, like if it's a good hotel that gets, like Hilton's, Marriott's, their turnover is usually pretty good. The rooms are occupied every night. Bed bugs aren't going to be on the mattress. You got to go one step further and go to that box spring, because bed bugs know they're getting checked all the time. The beds are getting changed, so they're going to be behind a headboard somewhere where they're not, disruptive.
Spooky.
So take a flashlight with you, little rubber gloves. Be amazed what you find underneath beds.
Oh no.
In a hotel.
Oh no. Probably more than just bed bugs.
Oh yeah.
All right. So how can our listeners learn more about Pest Rangers?
They could visit our website, www.peststrangers.com.
And you guys are on social media too, right?
All over social media.
Awesome. And your billboards.
Love our billboards.
Yeah. Yeah.
More white, the better.
Yeah.
I look at a lot of friends in the industry. I take their billboards. They'll send them to me. What do you think of this? And I'm like, nope, get rid of this, and half their billboards gone. And they say, why did you do that? I said, white space is better. You're going 60 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah, you don't have long.
Yeah, I doubt they're grabbing their pen to write down your phone number.
Yeah. They're gonna wait till they get home.
Yeah, and honestly, I even just said on the way home from Lancaster, I said, so like we've had the Facebook outage, so like when Google goes out, we're gonna be really stupid for a few days. Like if nobody could Google,
Yeah.
You have something to ask. You ask Google, right?
Yeah. What else do you do nowadays?
What else do you do? An encyclopedia. I don't even know if they're still around.
I don't know. I have no idea. Probably not. Yeah. So, all right. Well, no ifs, ands, or bugs about it, as you guys say.
Correct.
All right. Jeff King, the Pest Rangers on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to learn more about the On the Stacks podcast, be sure to search the hashtag On the Stacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'll catch you next time on the Stacks.